Hey guys, Joshua Peterson here at Peterson Electric. A lot of you guys know me as the electrician, so this is going to be my own house for my own gas range. This is a Whirlpool. I got this about 7 years ago from a big box store. I have to say that you're not going to get a long life out of most appliances today. I'm an old appliance tech from 20 years ago, so the thing that really stinks about these things is they seem like they burn out fairly fast with issues. But anyways, mine's having an issue with the gas regulator in the back. So I'm getting a smell, an odor, and a lot of you say you can't smell that odor, but you can. And we're starting to smell that. So we got it checked into. I did it myself, but I called an appliance store. It's the gas regulator, and then I got a price on it, and it's like $650 to replace to get the part. So it's going to be probably cheaper in the long run for me to get this replaced. The other thing is that when you're picking an oven, keep in mind a few things. Number one, these LCD pads seem to have issues with the heat. Number two, when you're self-cleaning it, you can see the amount of heat I've gotten over time and turn this appliance right here and here yellow. The other thing is that over time, even in 7 years, you can see my gasket getting wore out. So that's going to not help regulate that heat when you're cooking. So that's, you could replace that. But by the time I deal with this, and this is bad, and this I've had to keep caulking, and the regulator in the back, I'm deciding to just replace it. The other thing you want to keep in mind is the knobs. I'm going to go with the knobs next time up high, because as my kids pull out their heavy pans, they have a tendency, because they're not as strong, to hit those knobs. And they've dented them. The other thing is that I don't know if I care about the inside of this. This has gotten kind of soft after I've self-cleaned it quite a few times, and the metal is just kind of bent. And I couldn't get those two screws out to clean that, because after about 2-3 years, they actually ended up welding themselves shut there, and I had to break out that metal to get that out so I could clean off that stink and that smell when I'm cooking. You can go with yourself a hybrid oven, and that would be a bigger or lower, smaller burner, but excuse me, oven. It's going to be a 2-story, and those do take typically a 40 amp 8 gauge wire copper. I would never wire any oven with aluminum if you can avoid that. Definitely go copper, 6 gauge 50 amp 4 wire, and then that way you have that option to go back to complete induction. I've heard complaints about induction as far as the way they heat and making sure your pans are completely flat. So I'm not a fan of them, nor am I a fan of my kids hitting it and breaking the glass on an accident. The other thing you keep in mind though with the gas, you can have issues here where these prongs have broken off within that first year or two. Again, this is 7 years old, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes they get brittle over the weight, and these are just cast iron, and once they snap, there's no way to fix them or weld them. And over time, the grommets popped off in the first 2 years. So now I've dealt with a lot of scarring of this coming down and hitting this. The last thing to keep in mind is that when you are cleaning this, you want to make sure these stay clean. This in here I've tried to keep clean, and I use a bristle brush once a year to clean off this and this on the end of my 18-volt cordless drill. So the last thing to keep in mind, right back here is where it's going to vent the heat, and so that has stained on me as well from the grease of the oven once it's cooked off. But overall, I still prefer to have gas. My wife's trying to talk me into the hybrid. I can get a full gas oven with a back in stainless steel for about $900 to $1,000, but the double oven hybrid electric with gas on top, and it does have that 5th burner I'll probably want to go with. Those are like $2,500, so we're trying to kick that bucket around, trying to see what we want to do. But again, when picking an appliance, make sure you do your consumer's report research on that, because I would definitely suggest not to go with, well, I'm just not a huge fan of the big box stores in my opinion, because I've had issues with 2 appliances now, actually 3. So I've gone to older designs like the old Speed Queen washer machines that are top loader. I've not had a lick of an issue in 6 years with that, with a family of 5 and 3 teenagers washing clothes every day. So keep in mind some of the older school methods are better, especially when not the front loader washers. But when picking that, just do your homework, and we go to an appliance store here in town. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us. Hopefully that helped you out about gas ranges. Bye.